The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this first webinar in a series of 2 webinars entitled What's New in SolidCAM 2016. My name is Les Boland. I'm one of the applications engineers here in SolidCAM, and I shall be taking this series of webinars for the next couple of days. We've got this webinar today that is concentrating on mainly some of the 80 improvements that we've got and extra features that we've got here in SolidCAM 2016, and tomorrow we'll be doing a second webinar going into more detail of some of the more major features in that have been added to SolidCAM 2016. Okay, I'm just getting my slideshow sorted out here. Going through the what you can see on the screen there, we've got a list of what we consider to be major enhancements and added value features that we've added into SolidCAM 2016. These include what we've got here called advanced mill turn solutions. Now that may sound like a generalization, but there's so many things inside that it would be a huge list to put up on the screen here, and we'll go into that in more detail later. We've also got something that we call interactive machine preview, which as you can see by the graphic towards the right hand side there, you can see your live tool as it's presented to the machine, and you've got your axis, rotation, etc. on there on your lathe or on your mill turn lathe and your milling machine. We have also combined some operations in the iMachining module. For those of you who don't have iMachining or don't know what iMachining is, it's our bespoke advanced high speed stock removal cycle and finishing cycles that we have. If you don't know what it is, I suggest you give us a call and we'll tell you all about it. We've combined some of the operations in there, so we've got an iRough and iFinish option within the same strategy there. We've also got active fixture avoidance in iMachining 3D, which is a fantastic thing. I think we've got you just define your fixtures as normal on your part, and iMachining 3D will avoid those fixtures by a given value that you've previously defined. We've also got the option to now mirror an item or a tool path or even a whole part of tool path on a plane or a coordinate system. So you can mirror a left-hand version of a part onto a right-hand version of the part and create the tool path on a right-hand version, thus saving you having to recreate all your tool path all over again for the right-hand part. We've also got some other features and improvements in SolidCAM 2016. Not as fancy and fantastic as the ones I've just shown you, but the time saving and an added value to SolidCAM 2016 nonetheless, and a lot of you I'm sure will find these quite handy. One of the most notable differences in SolidCAM 2016 is in the 2.5D milling module, and that's the option to have a variable depth in your profiling operations in 2.5D. Up until now, that was only available in the pocketing operations, where you could have a variable depth of your pocket. Now you can have a variable depth of a profile, so you can combine several profiling operations in one operation, if you like, several depths of profile in one operation, rather than having to do separate operations, which is obviously going to be a time saver. It's a time saver in programming. It also reduces the amount of operations in your feature tree. And moving on from that, we have also got the option of now having variable levels in the 2.5D milling pocket strategy. the difference between that and what already exists is the fact that not only can you have variable depths in your pocket, you can also start from variable heights. So you can have several heights, several depths of pocket on the same strategy. We also have the option of, I say option, we've added strategies of creating faster geometry. When you're creating a geometry, you can select it faster, and there is some automation in the geometry as well, because for the main part, for instance, in the face milling operation, the face is generally at the top of the job, and you face that off. That's what you do. That's often the first operation that you carry out. So what we've done in SolidCAM 2016 is we've automated that for you if you want to, if you want to use that option. So when you select a face mill operation and it's your first operation, it will select the top face geometry already for you automatically. You don't have to use that, of course, but it saves it if that's what you're wanting to use. It'll already select it for you, thus saving you the option of having to go through that and create that geometry yourself. We also in 2016 have the option of being able to mirror the toolpath around an axis in HSS and the 5-axis strategies, which is very handy indeed, because it's quite often a thing where people will have a large part on a 5-axis machine, or indeed just an ordinary HSS operation, where they need to then want to mirror or copy this this feature around an axis. And now it's available. You can create it quite simply by selecting an axis, either X, Y, or Z axis, and rotate it around that, which is once again a time saver, added value, time saving, thus yeah, increasing your time on the machine rather than in the office. And also a nice addition to iMachining 2D is the fact that if you've done a drilling operation previously, to enable your tool to hop down into that hole before you carry out the toolpath, the iMachining strategy will now automatically remove the drill point if you've left the drill point. If it's got a standard drill with a 118-degree drill point, it will remove that drill point for you before it then carries on doing it. So you don't have to do that in a separate operation, which is once again a time saver. Okay, moving on from there then, let's just have a look at some of the other general features that are available in 2.5D. We are, as I said earlier on, we're concentrating on the minor enhancements and the little things that you will notice quite easily in SolidCAM 2016. There's certain things that have changed, such as there's a few extra buttons and a few extra icons that you will notice straight away in the interface. And I'm just going to sort of mention a few of them and show some of the more useful ones of there. As I said earlier, there have been over 80 improvements and enhancements added to SolidCAM 2016, and to try and cover all of them in this webinar and even tomorrow's webinar would be far too time consuming, and I'm sure I'd definitely lose your interest straight away. So what are we going to do? Due to the amount of these extra features that have been added in SolidCAM 2016, we are intending to run a series of one-day courses to show the benefits of these and existing features so that you can get the most out of SolidCAM 2016. I will post up details of the course, how to book yourself onto a course if you're interested in doing that. And I'd advise it if you've not had any training for quite a while and you might be a little bit out of practice with all the latest enhancements and additions that have been made into SolidCAM in the last few years. I would highly recommend booking yourself onto one of these courses, bringing yourself up to speed with all the latest developments that you may not be aware of. Okay, let's have a look at a few of the other enhancements in 2016. I'm not going to go, as I said, far too much into it in this webinar, because I'm going to do a little demonstration shortly of some of the benefits in 2.5D milling. One of the things that's been added in here, as you can see from the slideshow, is the option to control your compensation passes separately now on your roughing and your finishing passes, as well as your clear offset passes. So you've got complete control over where your compensation is or isn't applied in SolidCAM 2016. We also have now a little option of when using the pocket recognition feature. For those of you who haven't got pocket recognition and you don't know what it is, it's an added value module within the 2.5D strategy that includes pocket recognition. It's called feature recognition. It includes pocket recognition, chamfer recognition and drill recognition. So if you do any work that does have lots of pocketing and drilling to be carried out, then the feature recognition strategy might be something you want to look at. But what we've included in the pocket recognition strategy in 2016 is the ability to choose your lower level. If you've got a limited length of tool that you can reach in this operation, you can obviously then apply that length to your lower level and tell it not to try and mill anything below that level, because otherwise it's just not going to be able to do it. Okay, to that end, I am now going to flip screens, hopefully, and we will have a look at a part that I've put together that hopefully will get across to you the benefits of using some of the features that have been included now into SolidCAM 2016. So I'm hoping this will now work. You should be now looking at a part on my SolidCAM screen. Please shout up and tell me whether you can't. Okay, I've predefined some operations on here to show you the benefits of the combined operation of using multi-depth pockets, multi-level pockets and multi-depth profile operations. So this whole part here has been created in 3 operations. It could have been done in 2 actually if I'd had the if I'd roughed this out previously. So the first operation I've done here is just to rough the whole shape out from the solid. So I'm using a pocket operation here just to, I'll just simulate that for you. I'm just using a pocket operation just to literally get rid of the material around the upper island. That's all I've done there. Straightforward as it always was in SolidCAM. Where it all changes now is when it comes to being able to machine all these various pockets that you see that I've coloured in rather nicely for you there, so you can see them. So let's have a look at what's changed under the bonnet, so to speak, in the pocketing strategies. Everything's the same until you get to levels. We now have milling levels strategy rather than depth. We have milling levels. So we've chosen the variable level option rather than the constant level option, and we've got a little tab here to have a look. And so my geometry, sorry, I should have showed you that really. The geometry, let me show you my geometry. I've got 4 chains, chain 1, 2, 3 and 4 to represent my pockets there. So in levels, variable levels, we now have the upper level of the chain and the depth of the chain. So all you need to do is click on the face for your upper level of your chain, which I have done, which has now defined the upper level of chain 1 and chain 2 as being at the 0 level, top of the job, and chain 3 and 4, the top of that is at a -10 level, which is down here. Also then the depth from the upper level, the depth from there is 25 for pocket 1, which it is because it goes all the way through the job. Chain 2 is only 5mm deep from the upper level. Chain 3 is 10mm deep from the upper level, which is this one here, and chain 4 is 5mm from sorry, not from the upper level, from the level of the chain. So you can see that's quite straightforward. The technology, obviously the technology that you use applies to all of the chains, so you've got to make sure that it's suitable, the tool that you're using and the strategy that you're using is is suitable for all of the pockets, and so as long as it is, then you're okay. So you apply the same strategy. The strategy is the same as it always was in the menu here, and we can simulate operations. Not serious, please, thank you. We can simulate that now on. I'll do it in Solid Verify because it's easier to see sometimes, and we can see what this is meaning to us. We're doing the same step down value for all operations, so we're going through the first pocket here, which is the one that goes all the way through the part. So there it goes all the way through there. It does the second pocket, third, and then finally the fourth pocket. So varying heights, varying depths of pocket, all carried out in a single operation. Excellent. I think that's going to be a time saver. And following on from that, we also have a similar strategy in the profiling module, where we've got multi-level pockets. So in the levels this time, similar to what existed already in the pocket, we've got multiple depth, variable depth profiles. So let's have a look at my geometry that I've selected here. I've picked two chains in my geometry. I'll just zoom up slightly so you can see. Chain 1 being the outer profile of the part, and chain 2 being the step down value on the chain of the part there. Okay, so in our levels, similar to what it is in pocket already, variable depth is selected. Let's look at our variable depth. Chain 1 being the outer chain has a depth of 15, which is the bottom of the job down there, from 15 from the profile, that is. And chain 2 has a depth of 5. Our technology, same as ever. You can see in here also that you've got the option to put compensation on rough passes. It's obviously greyed out for finished passes because I've not got them selected. And you've got the option of using clear offset passes if you've used it as well. So there's the changes that we talked about earlier on. Let's simulate that and see what that means to us then in this operation. So it's a single operation, remember, and there's our updated stock from the previous operation. And what we can do now, I'll just drag this screen over slightly because my screen's shrunk somewhat. We can see the previous operations from the pocketing operations, and now we're just going to do this single operation that carries out two separate depths of profiling. So there's our first cut on our outer profile, there's our second cut and our third cut. That's our outer profile done, and now there's our cut done on our other chain. It's a different level. So I'll just do that again so you can quickly see. Two different chains, two different levels, all done in one operation. Once again, a time saver, more productive. Okay, so that's a couple of the enhancements there in 2.5D mill, and I'll just, although I'm not going to be doing a face milling operation, I can quickly show you if I was to do a face milling operation at the beginning of this strategy. It doesn't have to be at the beginning actually. I can add a new face milling operation. Straight away the face milling geometry is already there for you. It's created it itself. If I click on show, it's picked the geometry which is using the extreme edges of a box around the model itself. So straight away you've got your face geometry selected. You can just carry on straight away and select your tool and in choose your technology, etc. for that operation. So that's what we were meaning earlier on when we were saying it's easier to select geometry. There's a few other little changes in the geometry menu as well. You can select how it's going to select the chain in various ways, chain on levels, etc. So there's a few extra enhancements in there that we can cover in the next webinar perhaps. One more thing to just quickly go into in the turning module, and this is something that we'll go into more detail tomorrow, because we'll be covering the mill turn strategies and the eye machining strategies tomorrow. But in the mill turn strategies, let me just swap screens again. In the mill turn strategy, let me find my, sorry, in the turning strategy, we have the option to show our spindle direction and our tool in relationship to the machine in much more detail than we ever did before. This is for checking your tool orientation, if it makes sure it's the right way up to the machine, etc. So this is all in your tool library, and also you get a much better representation of your tool in regards to its relationship with not only the machine, but where it lies again next to all the other machine. All the other tools in the machine, in the turret, etc. So you can see all the other tools. The idea being that you can see quite easily if you've got a tool that's sticking out a long way, it's not going to collide with another tool, etc. So you've got much more idea of what's going on in your machine. Okay, that's just a nice little, hopefully a little taster for you of some of the benefits and extra features that is in SolidCAM 2016. As I mentioned earlier on, we are intending to run, due to the amount of changes that's been made and then enhancements that's been added into SolidCAM 2016, we are intending to run a series of one-day courses. I'm calling it update training courses for 2016, because pretty much that's what the intention is. But if you feel as though you would like to come on a one-day training course just for a general update on SolidCAM in general, rather than necessarily just in 2016, please feel free to give us a call. You can contact Louise on the number shown there, 01226 241 744, or you can email Louise at solidcamuk.com, and she will give you details of when we are running these courses and any availability and pricing required. Okay, I will just leave this screen up for the time being. What I'm going to do is just ask you if you've got any questions so far on what you've seen or on what you've heard from SolidCAM 2016, and I'll wait for your questions if you've got any questions. Whilst I'm waiting for your questions, one of the questions you may want to be asking is, when is 2016 going to be available? It is intended that we will release SolidCAM 2016. It'll be made available for anybody who has attended this webinar straight away. You can contact us and we'll send it to you. And it's going to be made available generally to everybody next week. So yeah, it's imminent, and you'll be able to download it very shortly. I haven't received any questions so far, so if that's all right with everybody, I shall bid you goodbye. We will be having another webinar tomorrow, as I said, and it'll be going into a bit more detail of some of the larger, more major enhancements in SolidCAM 2016, including the advanced mill turn strategies that we've introduced. I think you'll be impressed with the way that looks. And also I'll be doing some of the eye machining strategies where we can see some of the new features, such as the removal of the drill point and what have you in 2D eye machining. There's also a couple of other strategies that's been added into 2D eye machining, such as floor finishing, where you can finish the floor separately, and you can use the more traditional method that you would tool path for finishing the floor, instead of using the standard eye machining method, where you will be doing the trachoidal tool path type method, where you're morphing spirals. You can also choose a traditional finishing strategy there. And also I'll be demonstrating the active fixture avoidance in eye machining 3D, which is pretty impressive. I think you'll agree. Okay, well, if there's no questions, and it doesn't seem to be, I can't see any on my screen, I shall say goodbye, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much for attending this webinar. Goodbye.